Dominik Mysterio has shot on Jey Uso, and in this video I'm going to tell you exactly what he had to say and why it's so significant and why it could lead to something very interesting, because just like Jey Uso, Dominik Mysterio has gotten over in ways that I don't think many people anticipated as a single star. Jey Uso, he had been a guy for years, almost a decade, as a tag team player with his brother Jimmy as part of the Usos, becoming one of the best tag teams in modern day history. Dominik Mysterio, well, everyone had their doubts about him coming in 2020. Not the easiest time to make your debut during the pandemic. Having a really fun debut match with Seth Rollins at, I believe that year, SummerSlam. And he tried the whole babyface act, and he tried to be paired with his father and become the next luchador type star, and no one bought it. He didn't look like a wrestler, he didn't act like a wrestler, he didn't talk like a wrestler. He was someone that was trying to pretend way too hard, and everyone just saw through him. And then it was when he turned heel. It was when he turned on his father. It was when it turned on Edge that he became the guy that we all know and respect. One of the best heels in not just WWE, but in all of pro wrestling. That's what Dominik Mysterio has been able to do. His alliance with the Judgment Day has put him into another level, a level of which a lot of people, including myself, thought was not possible. Something in which he just did not seem like he could grasp, but he has, and he's taken the bull by its horns. And his alliance with the Judgment Day and his heel work and the unbelievable storyline with his father that lasted forever, it put him in a different area, and it has made him as a WWE star. He is believable now. He is a fantastic heel and will have a job with this company for the next 10 to 15 years as long as he can continuously put on this type of heel heat. Now that leads us to today's video, because Dominik Mysterio is still aligned with Women's World Champion Liv Morgan in her feud with Rhea Ripley. They have now brought in Raquel Rodriguez. Most recently, they teamed up together and got a mixed tag team match loss to Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. However, they are moving on, and Dominik Mysterio recently had something very interesting to say about Jey Uso while appearing on the Foundation Radio. And this is what he had to say, "We're done with Priest and Rhea, the Terra Turds," whatever they like to call themselves, twins, 40 years apart. But anyways, now that we've gotten rid of some dead weight in the Judgment Day, and we've replaced them with people like Raquel and Carlito, and we got Liv, it's been really good for the Judgment Day. We have Finn and JD as the World Tag Team Champions. We have Liv as Women's World Champion. I would have some unfinished business with Jey Uso. There's something that he has that I might want. Not might. There's something that I want, and it's definitely not Rhea. So I don't know. We'll see what the Judgment Day has in store. So I want to preference this by stating that I am recording this on October 20th. Jey Uso is slated to defend the Intercontinental title against Braun Breaker on the October 21st episode of Raw. If Jey has lost the title by then, when you hear this video, that is what that is. But I wanted to do this video for two parts. One, it could be a potential championship feud for Jey. But if Jey loses the championship, which I anticipate, I think this could actually be a bigger feud than most people realize. While yes, in this interview, Dominik Mysterio was talking about taking the Intercontinental Championship away from Jey Uso, I actually think that this would be a perfect feud for Jey Uso on Monday Night Raw. So we've already seen, first of all, he's been feuding with Braun Breaker over the IC title. Been there, done that, we've seen that, we get that. But on SmackDown, and they've started to bleed this over on Monday Night Raw, as Survivor Series in late November comes a calling, they've done a lot more crossover with Jey on Raw and SmackDown and with the Bloodline, and how he will not acknowledge Solo Sikoa and everything alike. We know that Jey Uso is about to compete in the War Games match. He's going to align with Roman, and he's going to align with Jimmy and whoever else they get for the fourth partner to take on the Bloodline. Been there, done that, know that. However, on Monday Night Raw, if you wanted something to do Jey Uso that's not Bloodline related, if you wanted to have a separate program and or after War Games, you wanted to have Jey Uso do something heading into Saudi Arabia, or not Saudi Arabia, but Saturday night's main event, I think Dominik Mysterio would be a really good bounce back program. One, he's a top heel, whether you like him or you don't. And number two, it gives Jey Uso a notable feud in which he can win, because that's important coming out of the whole IC title thing, should he drop the title. And it's something in which the fans will get behind. And in my opinion, that is a recipe for success. It's something in which I think they should do. I hope they do. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. It would also help not only Jey, but it would also help Dominik Mysterio. Because think about it. Dominik Mysterio, he needs a dance partner. And he needs a good babyface to dance with. And while, yes, he has been feuding with Rhea and he's aligned with Liv, he can't necessarily get physical with Rhea, right? Like, Rhea can beat him up, but he can't beat her up. So he needs a dance partner in terms of a man, right? And I think Jey Uso would do that. You're also talking about Dominik Mysterio feuding with one of WWE's A, most popular stars, and B, most over guys on the roster in Jey Uso. That's not a bad position to be in. So if you go down the checklist of like pros and cons, I would say there's a lot more pros to this feud than there are cons. It gives Jey Uso a notable feud in which he can win, and it gives Dominik Mysterio a notable feud in which that can help him get even more heat by pissing off Jey Uso fans. Like, it just makes sense. I think if they don't do it now, that's fine. But outside of the IC title picture, it's something in which I hope they do. I think they will do. I think it would be a lot of fun, and it just works for everyone involved. And whenever you have a scenario in which works for everyone involved, where the heel is going to be okay coming out of it, the babyface is going to be better off for it, and the fans would probably want to see it. I mean, I can absolutely see Jey Uso fans wanting to see him beat up Dominik Mysterio. And the promo battles between them and Dominik trying to get under the skin of Jey Uso, that would be a ton of fun. And you can sign me up for that, because that would be something to see, no doubt. I would like to know your thoughts down in the comments area below. Do you want to see Dominik Mysterio feud with Jey Uso? Do you think Dominik is the right guy for Jey? And how would you go about it? I think Saturday night's main event is a perfect spot for this feud. It gives Raw something notable. It gives Jey Uso something notable. And more importantly, it gives Dominik Mysterio something notable. And I will see y'all in the next video.